Another Friday night means another night of the Oceanic Challenger Circuit. We are rapidly approaching the home stretch. My name is Blue Panda, joining me on the mic tonight. Twee, we're coming into it. We are hitting the danger zone. Some teams will be sent home tonight, and then those that do make it through find themselves in crunch time. We are, of course, jumping into the 1-2 side of the Swiss bracket. We'll have two matches here. The winners move on to 2-2. They move on to do or die. The losers are out of the tournament.
Yeah, it's where it starts against really tense, man. So I'm looking forward to these games. We're going to see some high-stakes gameplay. Hopefully some high-stakes. I mean, I'm prone to a couple high-stakes ultimates. I want to be shoutcasting some insane plays. We're going to see it, I hope. These teams, they've stood up throughout the tournament so far. Now's their last chance to perform to get their way into that last chance qualifier. So we'll see if they're able to do that. I think it's a couple really good matches we got on the line today, though. Got any thoughts about them?
Oh, look, I'm always excited to see Oceanic League of Legends because it has the opportunity to, surprise, upset, disappoint. Really, there is the full gambit of emotion when it comes to watching Oceanic teams play. You never really quite know where it's going to land until, of course, the Nexus does go down. But, I mean, I'm excited to get in tonight. I'm keen to see what these two teams are going to be bringing, especially given how, obviously we're starting to see that international meta shape itself a little bit. We are starting to see, I mean, it hasn't been massive changes, which, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit disappointed that we aren't seeing more drastic changes, but I think that completely ruins the competitive environment. But starting to see the likes of the Neferi make its way into competitive play. People are really liking what she does at the moment.
I'm not really liking it. I hate that champ.
It's almost like a sort of like an AD Elise in terms of how it interacts around the map, being able to go commit for those tower dives and then obviously get the heck out of dodge. But I mean, seeing Gwen make its way into the top lane internationally. I've been talking to Vestion ahead of the LCP season. We're both keen to see Singed now that he's just giga easy because you don't actually have to last hit anymore.
You were on about this last week.
Yeah, no, look, I think it's just really stupid.
That's fair.
So they make Alistar easier, and they're like, you know what? People are still struggling with League of Legends. Get that entry barrier is just too hard, too high. You don't have to last hit anymore. There you guys. It's just capitalist Singed at it again. The rich keep getting richer.
No, 100%. I'm super excited. I've been watching a bit of the LCK. Obviously, we're on broadcast right now, so we're not able to watch the LCK that's currently happening. This is far more interesting, personally. I know I'm biased, but LCP over LCK any day. And this might as well be the LCP if you're looking at it. But I've been watching the Korean games and some of the top lane matchups, particularly because of this new lane swap ban. Obviously, we saw it in First Strike as well, but it's so interesting now. We get to see what they're like in lane, how they match up against each other.
Excuse me, you and Atlas need to get yourself first stand, not first strike. It was the first stand.
First strike. My goodness.
We got pinged for it as well. But yeah, let's get into the matches for tonight. We've got two on the cards. Yeah, we got in a bit of trouble because we kept saying first strike because obviously the rune. But we got the message passed out. It's first stand, gentlemen. But yeah, Frozen Hands taking on the Feng Shui Monks, and then We're So Doomed taking on UQ LOL coming into it. I mean, we've seen some interesting matchups, but these teams are in the crunch zone. All four of these teams have got one win so far, but they've also been dealt two pretty devastating losses. Remember, your tournament life is on the line if you lose.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I'm meant to be an unbiased commentator, but I can't help it when I see their profile pictures. We're So Doomed might be the team that I'm rooting for most out of any team in this tournament. That is very appealing. That is a very appealing team photo. I cannot believe that's their actual profile picture. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to do on the Rift, man. I hope they play well, You
need to familiarize yourself with Oceanic Rainbow Six esports lore. Because we did have, for the longest time, a team called Melon Cats that competed.
Yeah.
And the logo was understandably the Melon Cat, the meme. So yeah, they would just like pro play, and you have to refer to them as Melon Cats. So it was good fun. But yeah, no, coming into it, I mean, you kind of want to. We're So Doomed. They're very obviously not optimistic about their chances going into this tournament. But I suppose they find themselves 1-2. Maybe it's a case of just it's karmic almost. No, we've totally we're gonna lose this. It's reverse psychology.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Easy win, and then it's over.
That's what I'm buying into. That's for sure. And now we're going to look at the first match lineups. I think for the drafts here, we're going to see the players. And anyone in particular looking for, obviously, Feng Shui, the titular Feng Shui in the top lane here on the Feng Shui Monks. Probably someone to watch out for. You got any names that you're particularly looking at?
No. Unfortunately, I am not familiar with any of these players. Now,
That's fair.
Unfortunately, I'm a little bit detached from Oceanic League Legends for the most part. Yes, I've been involved in a bit, in obviously this tournament, but yeah, I'm not there in the trenches every day knowing the ins and outs of the competitive scene. But
yeah,
look, they're at this stage of the tournament for a good reason. They clearly understand what they're doing.
Yeah. I guess today's their chance to make their name as well. So next time that we see Frozen Hands or Feng Shui Monks play, you're going to remember the name of potentially Imperator, Dozoff. We never know. We'll see who it is to stand up today. Someone's going to need to do it for both these teams. It's going to be a competitive match. Let's talk about draft for a second, though. What are you expecting to see? Because obviously we have seen that international meta start to shape up. Anything that we're going to look out for in particular today? Anything we can predict? Or is it a little bit too hard to predict, do you think?
Well, I mean, look, like I said, the meta hasn't drastically shifted. We're just seeing a couple of champs that have now sort of slipped into what is considered meta. And I think the most interesting one of them is Gwen, because technically on paper she was nerfed. It was labeled a nerf, but what it was, it sort of flattened out that scaling, which means she's more present early on, which means she has a better laning phase. She still scales reasonably well into the late game as sort of that magic bruiser. So I think it's interesting to sort of see those interactions. But I mean, Zed has been making its way into pro play internationally. I mean, Shen's become a bit of a priority down the support. And ADC's even an interesting one. We saw for the longest time. All of Split 1, it was Varus Ashe. Like, that was the quintessential AD lineup. Through the Fearless Draft, it was then sort of like Ezreal and... I mean, if you wanted to get
the weird ones.
Yeah, it was Ezreal, and it was sort of Misfortune. There you go.
Zeri was played a bit.
That was the third string. But now, you probably watched the match the other night in the LCK where they picked Varus, and it was just dead. Like, I think it was...
It got stomped, yeah.
Yeah, he just, as soon as he stepped out, I think it was Hype, actually, yeah. As soon as he stepped out of Fog of War, Nocturne, dead. Like, it was just... It was, for the longest time in the LCP Split 1, there was just this running joke that Varus was just going to get dumpstered on because he's so immobile. So we are starting to see teams realize, actually, yes, he's good and all, but unless we know for sure that he can play the game, we kind of don't want to pick him, which is why we are seeing the likes of the Ezreal. Corki's now shifted, I think, probably to more towards the bot lane now. So I'm really excited to see how things are obviously going to settle going into, I mean, what is the crux, the mid portion of Split 2. But for the most part, we haven't seen a huge amount of changes. The jungle, for the most part, is almost exactly the same. Ivern still floating in and around the comps at the moment, the double ADCs, but there has
the wise mystical tree.
Yeah, the only like newest fresh addition is the Neferi, and even then, it's still not the most overpowered thing which people thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and I was going to talk about that for a second here, because I think one of the reasons as well that is a little bit overlooked as to why Varus might be dropping in priority is because the prevalence of assassin junglers. Obviously, the wise mystical tree, as we talked about, the the tree duo, the Ivern Maokai. That's still a thing, but if you take away that, we're looking at a jungler meta where we're looking at lots of Nocturne Orianna being played, and that was the thing that stomped the Varus. Neferi being in the meta, her new ultimate makes it so that being in a mobile ADC without a dash, with very little self-peel, is quite, it's a scary prospect. Neferi, very punishing for the Varus. So I think you're very right to say we're going to shift towards maybe more mobility, maybe more safety on the ADC role. The other thing to talk about, though, as we already talked about top meta, mid meta is the one meta we haven't looked at, and it's quite stagnant, I'd say. I don't think we've looked at much change throughout maybe the last 2 years.
Zed's back, baby.
Okay.
Like the one game where it was LCK versus LCP at first. It was like, look, it's LCK trolling LCP, and then people like coming to Split 2 like, hold on, not the worst idea. Kind of works a little bit. It started to make its way back in, but
you are right.
Yeah, look, mid has not changed. It sort of really is just the Aurora, Victor, and then that's about it. Show. I mean, maybe you get a bit of deviation from there. For the most part, those are your go-tos. It's probably Victor, Aurora, and then Corki. Like, those are the top three at the moment. It hasn't changed from last split.
And I have an important tidbit of information as well. We are playing on the April Fool's patch, so there is a high chance, I might be making this up, but there is a high chance that we see Pengu Garen in our game. If a Garen gets picked, it is going to be the new funny Garen skin, which I personally, I'd love to see that in a professional match. I think it gives you a competitive advantage, in my personal opinion. You played against any Pengu Garen recently?
No, I'm more I'm more concerned about potential April Fool's Shaco shenanigans because, or the Glizzy Neferi. That was
The Gliz
someone.
We're in draft.
Yeah, okay, we're jumping to draft. Someone was working a late night, and there was probably some inebriation involved in that skin's development. But I mean, as we jump into the draft, I mean, you're expecting. Again, it's Oceania, so there is deviation from what is considered the norm. But I mean, your top band picks at the moment are. Well, your top bands, Skarner, Nocturne, Callista seem to be the go-to internationally. Depending on who the jungler is, Zyra...
Yeah, that is not a character that I thought I'd be seeing in any sense today. But I guess we can't... He can't be played now. That's... Screw Kog'Maw. Get off the draft, man.
Kog'Maw's kit kind of just does that in itself. he much in the same vein of Varus, just very immobile, but has even less to do in terms of keeping himself alive. Is even... The epitome of immobile. And I mean, Udyr, I mean, saw a huge amount of presence in the top lane in split one. Very, very strong. Very, very self-sufficient. Very few matchups where he struggles, so can be a bit of a menace if given over to the right person.
Yeah, Udyr ban as well. Less of a weird ban than Kog'Maw. Not sure what that really heralds, though. I think it maybe is just a comfort ban from Feng Shui Monks. It's not really showing me anything. It's a mist ban from Frozen Hands. So now the Aurora going to be banned away. As we talked about before, I'm thankful for that personally. Not a big Aurora fan over here. Don't like bunny girls, but I'm biased because I'm a top laner. Anything you're expecting now? I think Aurora taken away. What mid laners are left?
I mean, yeah, you're probably looking at the likes of a Victor Corki being top priority for the mid lane. I mean, indeed, it could even just be... I mean, yeah, we could see something like... Okay, okay, so Frozen Hands have lost a ban because of a last minute substitute with that. Kog'Maw and Lulu being banned out first round leaves the likes of a Nocturne Orianna combo available. Skarner's available. So there's a lot of priority around the jungle. I mean, Callista. Gwen's going to be banned out the top side.
Varus is up.
Yeah, Varus. Look, there's a lot that is up, which speaks to how interesting. I'm going to use the word interesting. This ban phase has been so far.
Yeah, one of these teams is doing normal things. The other team has just picked Jhin first.
In terms of champion priority, when it comes to draft, there are a few champions that I would put below Jhin, I think, into a draft comp.
Yeah?
Look, unless Starry is the guy, the Jhin, the most oppressive Jhin player in the server... I don't know. Whatever the case may be, they've done it. Zeri is the immediate response.
Yeah.
I mean, there is enough to play with her. I mean, the Lulu being banned out almost immediately means that it's probably not going to have its best pairing, but there's still a lot that Zeri can work with.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm more of a shock to see Zeri with the Lulu ban, because it's kind of like a champ that you always see it in a pair. There is, like, I guess you can play, like, Zeri with
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, okay. Get it off my screen. Oh my god, I hate that. I really hate that. Well, let's see what they got cooking on Frozen Hands.
Yeah, you complained about the bunny girls, now the cat girls here. Yeah, Zeri Yumi has pitched a really just spiral out of control going to the later stages of the game. But Jin's problem, again, much like the Varus, is just intensely immobile, prefers to play in the backlines. If he doesn't find the positioning in teamfights, he's largely irrelevant. Especially if there is someone probably looking towards an assassin jungler, assassin mid lane, who is just going to be hunting for him consistently. I mean, even the support can go off and sort of just deal with him as soon as that curtain call comes down, because it kind of telegraphs where he is.
Fiddle. I was going to say, one of the valuable aspects of a Jhin as well, like the reason you would pick him up usually in a comp, is utility-focused ADC. So what he likes to do is root people, slow people, stop people from moving. But in order to do that, you got to land your damn skill shots. And Zeri Yumi, that's not easy to land your skill shots into. So I think the value already mitigated to, a fairly extreme extent. Fiddlesticks, obviously, a little bit of single target lockdown with the Q, the fear. It's going to make Jin's job a bit easier. So I do like the pick up there for Mirai. But we'll see what we go here in the mid lane. Dozoff now hovering his pick, and they didn't pick. That's a choice. That's definitely a choice. Well, I guess we'll find out in a couple seconds what's gone on there.
Opting to 4v5.
Opting out, yeah. Like, we didn't mean to pick Jhin, guys. Let's roll it back.
I mean, it's not the worst combo. I mean, Fiddlesticks is going to draw a huge amount of attention. Just being able to jump in the thick of things. All of a sudden, things where you've got to deal with this scary scarecrow. Meanwhile, in the back lines, it does give a little bit of... a lot more freedom for Starry to go to work as the Jhin. He's going to be playing in the back lines while the rest of the team is just fighting in the thick of it. So I think it does synergistically work well, but okay.
There it is. It's troll, no? This is troll comp. This is not real. We're playing Yumi Shaco in a professional match. Is this real?
Oh, I don't even begin to understand what goes on in the mind of an Oceanic League of Legends player at the best of times. Let alone tonight. All I can say is at least my rugby team won tonight, so we've got that going for us.
Well, there it is. That's what, do you think that's jungle? Are we seeing Shaco top? Is this pink ward coming out?
It has to be Shaco jungle. I think there's just too much power in the top lane to... I mean, okay. As much as I say that, we've got a Fiddle jungle on the board and it was first pick Jin. So...
Yeah. And also no mid laner pick. That's...
Yeah. It could be AP Shaco in the mid lane. Who knows? Maybe there is a world. I don't want to live in that world, but okay.
No, that's...
it's just Oceanic, baby.
Yeah.
Oceania
So,
esports.
Rel
banned out. We still don't know what the mid lane pick, well, the third pick for Frozen Hands was. So, in terms of theory crafting, Galio, I think, would be an insane pick, but that is already very AP heavy. But Rel's going to be banned out away from Chikawa, which, again, very, very solid support at the moment in terms of setup. We do a lot for the Jin, does a lot to keep him clear. But into a Zeri Yumi, I think, to be fair, it does punish them quite heavily if positioning's correct. Silas, the ban out from Frozen Hands. Well, again, he's seen a pretty big uptick into pick priority at the moment. Silas has got a lot to take away, not necessarily from this draft at the moment. I mean, to be fair, there's a couple of decent ultimates. All three ultimates would be all right. They're not stunning, but they would still be pretty useful in a team fight.
The questions I'm asking now is, like, obviously we're speculating as to what Dozoff's picked. So Galio's a good one. With the Silas ban kind of signals to me that it's an impactful ultimate, right? Because you've got the Curtain Call, you've got whatever Fiddlesticks ult's called. I'll figure that out in a couple seconds. Dozoff probably picked another high-value ultimate, so I'm thinking potentially Alistar, potentially Galio. So maybe we'll see what it is now. Ambessa ban comes through. That's a protection ban in the top lane. A Wukong pick, in fact, I've just heard from Draft. The graphics has broken. So Wukong is the pick for Dozoff. Cyclone denied.
So there's this Jin Fiddlesticks in the bot lane then. Because if there's a Wukong pick, I'm imagining it's probably jungle Wukong.
Yeah.
To be fair, again, it could be top, but I mean, Jin Fiddle is actually kind of a scary combo in terms of just CC duration for anyone unfortunate to step out of position.
They will keep you in one place for a long time. That's for sure. Oh
yeah, not to mention the fact it just completely deters any sort of significant engagement from Feng Shui. Yes, they've got a Shaco, so you're going to be able to get around a lot of that because you can go invisible. But yeah, I don't think it's terrible. Wukong, Fiddlesticks, and Jin, that's already a huge amount of team fight, huge amount of wombo combo. So if Frozen Hands get a good engage, their team fight becomes just terrifying.
Yeah, it's a tricky one to pull off, though. I think particularly versus what we're looking at, right? Because Fiddlesticks needs a lot of setup. Fiddlesticks, you need the vision control, you need the setup, you need to be able to walk in the jungle. You also want lots of targets. And what we're looking at is a Shaco. You're not going to see him on vision. He's going to have boxes everywhere. Zeri Yumi is essentially one target for Fiddlesticks, right? It's just going to hit the Yumi. Yumi probably builds Mikhails.
So it's support Fiddlesticks. So realistically, he either becomes a team's engage, which you're probably not going to do because he's going to struggle to get some of those big items that you kind of want as a Fiddlesticks online. Whereas what he can do is anyone that jumps on Jin, he just ults on Jin and makes it incredibly hard to stick to the 80 carry. So I do think it synergizes well. It's probably not the best synergistic pick for this bot lane, but it does offer a huge amount of kill threat, a huge amount of deterrence. I don't know how successful it's going to be because Fiddlestick's notoriously not the most tanky support in the meta at the moment, with the Jace in the top side. So Jace, Wukong, Fiddlesticks, Jin. They've got a great poke comp already between the Jin and the Jace. They're going to be doing a decent amount of damage from range. All of a sudden, if they are getting collapsed on from Feng Shui, if they've done a bit of damage, the Fiddlesticks turn around, the Jin turn around. Yeah, I think that if they can bait out some bad positioning from Feng Shui, this could be a quite easy match, honestly.
I also think Feng Shui kind of teed up that Jace pick. I'm not going to lie. Like, if you look at their bans, Aurora's a pick people pick versus Jace, and Ambessa is the most common pick people pick versus Jace. Gwen's up there as well because the W gets a lot of value. There's kind of not much left. They've kind of banned themselves out and then given away the Jace. It's a bit of a slam dunk, honestly, my opinion on Frozen Hands. The rest of the draft's a little bit sketchy as the Rise now coming through for Dozoff. That's the mid laner. Fallen out of, priority a little bit, but it's coming back, and I like the pick.
I read it. Look, I think Rise, the team fight's pretty solid from Frozen Hands.
Yep.
look, if they can dictate the pace of this game, if they can take fights on their own terms, yeah, they can absolutely win this. But Feng Shui, they've got a lot of escape. Okay.
Ooh.
They've got
okay.
Front line. They don't need any more front line than the Mundo, the Juggernaut pick. But you've got an Assassin Shaco who realistically is going to be able to 1 to 2, maybe 3 shot if he's having a bad game, the Jin. So he's going to be a non-factor. Fiddlesticks is just going to get outright bullied this game. And I think realistically, they're going to struggle to stick to anyone on this Feng Shui roster. The best they're going to stick to is probably the Mundo, and he just doesn't die.
So I think that they have to look away from the team fight then. I think their win conditions come through the side lane. So you're looking at Jace versus Mundo in side lane. I don't even think that's winning after 2 items. Like, the second you get that, Mundo gets the Warmog's Heart Still. He's got infinite HP, infinite resources. That side lane is almost unwinnable for the Jace because he can't play the slow game. You got Ryze Ari on the bot side. I think Ryze can shove the wave. Ari does outrange, though, and has better gank setup. So I think it's difficult. The team fight's hard. The side lane's hard. What can they do realistically?
Just avoid it.
I mean, it's just try to win lane, I guess. Let's just play the game, I guess.
The problem is, I mean, look, yes, Frozen Hands scale into the later games. They're going to do a decent amount of damage. But Mundo can just kind of do his own thing. Much as Mundo says he can do as he pleases, he just goes, plays the side lanes. There's no real threat to him. There is no solo kill potential on this Mundo unless they shut him down straight off the rip. Like, unless they could repeat gank him like 4 times in a row, and he's sitting 0-4 with 10 CS come the 15-minute mark. That's the only time I think Feng Shui are going to struggle. The namesake of the team is just going to go play those sidelines. He doesn't need to sit with the team because they've got enough escape that he doesn't need to be there. So he's just going to be constantly pushing towers, which I think the best option is going to be doze off on the Ryze. That's the person who is going to have probably the best wave clear to deal with him. And even then, there's a good chance he does just get run down because you're going to be building magic resist as a Mundo because you want that Spirit Visage nice and early on. You're going to be wanting the mage resist boots as well. So there really is no sort of good matchup. I think, honestly, the crazy thing is, if lane swaps are still in the meta, this becomes a much better game for Frozen Hands. Yeah,
it does, actually. You're right. I was going to say, the one little tinfoil hat back on for a second. I'm coping for Frozen Hands. The matchup's not easy. So if we are Feng Shui, we're going to have to play like the main character. We're going to have to play like our name implies we're going to play. We're going to have to play insanely well in that first 3 minutes. Because Mundo is the weakest level 1 champion in top lane. Jace is up there with the strongest. So when it comes to whether or not he's going to have priority, whether he's going to be able to take good trades in the early game, the answer is just no and no. So top lane, at least, with that Jace Wukong, it's going to favor Frozen Hands for at least the first 10 minutes. Question is, what can they do with that? And that's going to be a crucial factor in this game. Because as you just pointed out, if Mundo gets ahead, man, there's not really a way to deal with it.
It's not even that. Mundo doesn't even have to get ahead. If he just goes even.
Yeah, if he just lives.
If he has a half-decent time in lane and can get a couple of items, he's sitting happy as Larry. Like, it's not a good time. And as soon as those lane swaps start coming in, because Mundo, I don't think is going to suffer too greatly missing out on Void Grub. So as soon as that lane swap start happening once the timer is done, Mundo just goes off. He heads bot. They switch the Gary and McChicken up to the top side. He's just farming. He will just keep farming. Yeah. He will do his thing. Yeah, let Frozen Hands worry about objectives because suddenly, oh cool, we've got our third Drake, guys. We're on Soul Point. Why is Mundo at our Nexus tower? Because he's just been there in the bottom lane with no one to deal with him. Like,
all right, here we go. Yeah, and on that point as well, we're loaded into game now. I'm very excited to watch this game. But on that point, to talk a little bit more about this Mundo, because it's the crazy pick in this game, as much as there's a Shaco in the lobby as well, with no flash, by the way, has the Ignites, the classic setup. I think if he goes Warmogs first, goes bot, what even is that? Because these infinite resources can hit the tower, shove the wave. I guess we'll see how it plays out, as should be fairly standard to start with. Shaco on the top side here, El Chippy, great name.
Well, the funny thing is, man. So all that theory crafting we've just done, talking about what happens. We also need to acknowledge the fact that teams are just capable of just getting steamrolled in the first 5 minutes, and all this talk that we've done may not matter at all because, this comp is great, but then all of a sudden Jin finds 3 kills early on, Ryze finds a kill, and there's just nothing that Mundo can do because while he scales very well, Ryze is 3 items deep before he's running around. One done.
Yeah, well, a little bit of an invade here. It's a sweeper popped already. El Chippy actually walking into a death trap. He's been spotted by the sweeper. Sardak has a Q available. Going to take a little bit of damage away from the Shaco. Stop the clear. But no boxes to be found. They're actually starting on the bot side of the map. Heads up play from El Chippy. Might have expected the invade.
Yeah, I think that's a smart call. You're going to want to pressure the Shaco out. He very much in the same vein as the league, kind of wants to keep snowballing. He wants to have a good game. I think as soon as Shaco finds himself behind, he does struggle to get back in. So if you could try and take away a couple of those, if you could try and 3-buff the Shaco, he really is going to be put off the back foot. But he started blue. That's where you want to be starting as the Shaco. So realistically, he should be able to catch up. And yeah, he's not even going to start as blue.
Oh, this is cheeky.
Yeah.
It's going to be spotted out, though, because if he goes to the red buff, you can see there's already a little Fiddlesticks ward sitting there waiting for him. So it's not quite going to be a 3-buff, I don't think, for Mirai, just because the heads-up player, yet again from El Chippy, going to stop that in its tracks. But it's going to be a split map instead.
Yeah. Jumps over the wall. Is he spotted? I don't know if he is. No, I don't think he has been.
Ooh, it hasn't disappeared yet, the ward, actually.
Yeah, so it's just round the edge of that wall, so it's not going to see him. They're not.
Oh, there it is.
They know now that he has taken. He's going to cheat. He steals the 3 gold. They're looking to pitch. So they've baited him into a trap here, but he should get the level. He should be able to jump over that wall to safety. Yeah, ankle's broken.
The Sieve Backstab, that's the ability name that was used right there to absolutely destroy the ankles of Starro. He's just wasted so much time. Actually going to drop some XP in mid as well. That's brutal for the Rise.
He even drew Mirai down there as well. Like, he drew 4 members of Frozen Hand to try and answer him, and he had no idea he was actually in danger.
Yeah, man, that's how you got to be playing the Shaco. He's actually going to take away the buff here, Mirai. I mean, as much as we were praising him for the early game invade, it's not going well. It's kind of falling to pieces. He's getting played by the Shaco.
No, he's sitting behind now because Shaco's pathing. Manages to get himself back. Yeah, look, the entire top side for Chippy's gone. And, yeah, okay.
That was pretty aggressive right there. I'm sorry. Just establishing his presence in the lane. The Rise is quite dominant, actually, if you get those extended trades in the early game.
Yeah, Phase actually moves quite quickly as well, so he's going to be able to reposition. Scuttle Crab already being started up. Does it make it a division of the ward? I don't think it is. I think it is just be outside. No, okay, so he's going to walk into the ward vision anyway. So they know where he is. They should.
Yeah, shouldn't die to a gank here. And it's actually dead even on camps if you're looking at it. Because the Krugs still haven't been taken. Shaco's now out of juice. He's going to be 25 when he finishes his clear. Wukong going to get the blue buff. The top scuttle go to 28. So he's up 1. Although the Wolves actually, I think, have respawned for El Chippy. So that's a nice little boon. Spot actually looks a bit hard for the Jhin Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount of sustain for this area there with a back pocket Yumi. Not to mention, she does a decent amount of damage. Shaco. Yeah, you're not going to find much in terms of kill pressure down on the spot side because that wave is consistently shoving it. Surprising given that Fiddlesticks is just, getting the drain off onto the wave and trying to clear it. So you would have thought Frozen Hands would be pushing this a little bit faster.
Geez, a lot of heavy trading around the map as well. Imperator, dropping very low. Already 1/3 of an HP bar as Mirai going to steal away the Krugs on the respawn. Deceive backstab over the wall. Got a box being put down. El Chippy establishing. These are my Krugs, my friend. But Mirai, he's already gotten the gold. He's going to take away.
I don't know if Imperator wants to take that.
Yeah, I don't think he does either. It's a scary monkey. Now the Scuttle Crab in his sights. Top lane. It's gone quite well so far. 42-24, the CS lead. And the plate going to be taken over now by Starter.
Okay, so it's an AP Shaco.
Ooh.
I mean...
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I suppose Monday does a decent amount of AD damage. Yeah, I suppose. I think it probably would have done a bit more in terms of dealing with Jhin if it was an AD Shaco, just being able to completely blow him up, but you are lacking a bit of magic damage. It's all pretty much in the back pocket of Ari. And so far, this entire game has just been both junglers trying to take as much from the other as they can.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh, no.
Mundo goes for his pleases. Oh no, Stardock, you cannot die in this matchup, my friend. Here comes Mundo. He's going to run you down. Ghost and ultimate. Press for Feng Shui Masters. And he's just run down the Jace in the top lane.
Oh, it's going to be one of those games. So you had almost a 2x CS lead in the top side. That is how much Starduck was gapping Feng Shui. And then all of a sudden they hit 6. Starduck's just burnt all his mana. He blew his flash, but Mondo has Ghost, so he doesn't really struggle. Plus the movement speed from the ultimate. And then Jace gets run down because he's got nothing left in the tank.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean, it's a full level 6 timer as well. You look at the XP. Hold on a second. We're going to hold this thought because the E has just been hit by Imperator. Flash Force from sorry, but it wasn't actually enough to escape Dari's grasping charm. He's going to walk away with his life, though, and the Shaco going to get no value for that little gank. Wave gets in. Starry loses a little bit of HP, but nothing more.
Yeah, this top lane matchup is going to be an interesting one to watch, because you already see the Giants belt and the Ruby Crystal for Big
Yeah.
He's just going to keep stacking up. I don't think there's going to be a huge amount of grasp proc opportunities for the Mundo, unfortunately, into a Jace, but the ward being dropped there by the Mundo gives him the vision that this Void Grub is going to be started. Unfortunately, there's nothing they can do on the bot side.
That was a bit of a cleanse.
It's insane that the Zeri Yuumi combo is just winning that fight handily.
Yeah, I mean, they did invest the cleanse, right, off the Fiddlesticks Sphere to make sure the trade was as, dominant as it was. That was a pretty convincing victory right there. Zeri Yuumi and they're 100% HP. Look at them. Just running rampant in this lane as the Grub's going to go down to Mirai.
Yeah. I think So realistically, the ideal situation there would have been lane swap the Mundo down bot side, look to contest the Grubs. But the Mundo's doing so well already that you do not need to send him down on the bot side. He can control things from the top. Chippy. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see a lot of value out of this AP Shaco, honestly.
Yeah. That is kind of the pitfall.
What
What the heck happened in top lane?
His ult came off
just came
cooldown again. And since Jace did not have a flash anymore, he just got run down again. So notice the positioning of Starduck's body when he died.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
He towered up.
There's no cleanse on this Zeri. Here's the rise, and Dom's pet going to go down. But his pet next to full here, the Yuumi trying to ult away. Oh, let it live, man. Show some mercy. It's just a kitten. Down it goes. Smojo.
This is a dead
Body
Ari
falls in the
too.
bot lane. This is not a TP that you want to see. Ari ultimate invested there. Chum going to land. It's a flash of the ball from Chippy now. Chicago goes down to the Ignite Imperator. He wants more here. Flash away from Wake Up. Stacks left on the ultimate. And no more invested there for Imperator, who actually manages to walk away with a kill and his life off that psychopathic TP.
I really hope we get the replay, because Starduck was a tower dive. 100% Starduck got too close and either procced aggro under the tower or genuinely attempted to dive Feng Shui.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden Mundo's ultimate was showing and Starduck was dead.
I mean, I can understand it as well in his position. By the way, before I say this, I want to point out double Giant Spell from Mundo, so that's going to be Warmogs first, not Heartsteel, which I rate very highly in this matchup. I think that Heartsteel very hard to proc. Warmogs are going to give you way more value. But I can understand the position from Startup, right? You've just been solo killed. It's embarrassing. It's tough. You need to find a way. You understand that Mundo's a lose condition, right? If you get him fed, it's very bad. You need to find a way back in the game. I can understand going for the dive.
Well, you just don't have any answer. You just have no answer to the Mundo. The Jhin is not going to be able to clear him out because it's a Jhin. The one bane of a Jin's existence is tank.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, he's doing it again.
Oh, it's another heavy trade
here.
here.
He's almost there. So Feng Shui is going to have that ult up in a second. So as soon as that next engage comes through, Starduck's dead again.
Yeah, that's really bad. He's got to take a reset, but his TP's not available and the wave state is cooked. So I think we might see a Mundo go where
he might just tower. He's got a ghost.
Soon.
He might just tower dive this, honestly.
That's what I'm saying. I think where Mundo pleases might be Stardock's tower. Look at the HP here. Ghost and ult available, although Feng Shui Master, he's sensing something. He's sensed a monkey. The monkey's also sensed him. Flash forward there. Cyclone invested. Mundo ultimate might be good enough, but it's only level 1, my friend. So maybe he dies anyway. QE there from the Jace, but he's just walking it off. Mundo's got a business call to attend to in 5 minutes. He doesn't have time to look at a grey screen, my friends. See you later. Back to base he goes.
It is bold of you to assume that Mundo knows how to answer a business call. That is a purely aesthetic cell phone. But yeah, what do you expect in that situation? You just don't have the damage on a Wukong who's yet to finish up his Triforce. It's a Mundo with 2 Giants belts and a Ruby Crystal. So he's going to be healing an insane amount at the worst of times. Jace.
Oh, God.
I mean, look, I will give Starduck that. He didn't run it down a 3rd time, so it feels like he's right at the ship. He's like, okay, hold on. Guys, I see what I'm doing wrong here. I shouldn't be forcing the fight. The problem being, if you don't force the fight into a Mundo, he's just going to keep finding every bit of resource that he can. If you're not trying, if you're not forcing him off CS, if you're not forcing him into fights, he's just going to keep farming.
And Mundo's happiest state is singing payphone in the top lane, man. He's so happy if you just let him do nothing. But if you force him to do something, and that something is kill you, he's even happier. There's the Warmogs completed. Needs one more Giant Spell, though, to get that passive proc. Another 350 HP, and he's going to be chilling. And there's nothing Starduck can do about it for the entire game. This is going to be disgusting.
Chippy this time going to try those grubs, but you can see Mirai is on the way. Still no Triforce, but it is the Blackfire Torch finished up for the Shaco. So he is going to be doing a decent amount of damage. Denies both, but just so much HP on the Mundo. No one is burning through that.
Look at him.
Bar Rise given a good 2 minutes. I think that's the only way he goes down.
Here comes the cavalry though, and there are a lot of summon spells available here. No Cyclone though, it's Feng Shui Master. I mean, the Rise is poking him down, but poke is really all it is, and he's poking with, I don't know, it's like pinky finger, man. Mundo's just living. He's just chilling.
He's got the ult back up as well, so even if they had tried to dive on him, he would have been perfectly fine. But the one grub denied away by Chippy means that it's not going to be the full set going the way of Frozen Hand second time around, but 5 grubs, it genuinely actually gives them a decent play to contest objectives with a Mundo on the map. So now with those grubs, they can actually push towers a little bit better with the Jin, who not famously known for his abilities to take towers. But I mean, the crazy thing is, I'm curious as to the gold. Like, how much gold is Mundo ahead right now? Because he has to be ahead. Yeah, it's okay. So it's only 100. It's not as bad as it could be for Stardock right now, but that gold, the value for money, I think, does so much more for the Mundo than it does for the Jace at this stage in the game.
100%. And the big thing that I want to point out here is that as we get later in the game, when he gets that giant spot available, the thing that's scary about the Mundo is not his ability to just 100 to 0 you, it's his ability to always win the War of Attrition because he has Warmonks. So he has no mana, infinite HP, he can just play the short trade every single time, take a losing trade even, walk away, full heal, and still get pressure on the side lane. He isn't engaged on the bot side here. Crash Lightning used from Dom's Pet forces the flash from Wake Up over the wall. And he's going to walk away with his life, but bit of a branding. Hold a second. Topside fight, not going to break out yet. There is a Mundo ultimate available, so nothing scary there. Full Feng Shui.
There is a summoner's disparity though. There is a flash available for Stardock, so he isn't going to suffer as much as the Ghost rundown as he could have. But I mean, realistically, in this situation, Chippy is very deep right now.
Here comes the curtain call, and it's lights out for El Chippy unless he can do some. Yeah, nothing there. Bye bye, Shaco. And was that an April Fool's joke? What do you think? What is this guy doing, man? He's just running in the enemy jungle. That's crazy. Dom's Pet now. He's gonna be fine. Sorry, use the Rise ultimate. It's all good. Oh, goodness gracious me. Here comes a level 11 Mundo ultimate. I'm getting no rest this game. It's just fight after fight. Feng Shui Master's gonna run down Stardock, who knows he's screwed up. Flash away. Here comes Mundo, man. Get away. Jesus.
How many times are we gonna have to teach you this lesson, old man? Stardock steps up too far. He's like, yeah, I got damage. Mundo hits 11. The level 2 ultimate. So, even more healing than it would have been otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And he's got himself even more Ruby Crystals in the back pocket, so he should be over that threshold, I think.
I think so. He's not going to reset until he was. The double Ruby Crystal and Giant's Belt, pretty much the same value in terms of HP, so I think we're about to be dealing with a fully unkillable Mundo who goes wherever the hell he wants. That's going to be very scary if you are Frozen Hands. So what do they even do now? How do they win?
I mean, the crazy thing is, I think it's probably going to be Spirit Visage next, which means even more healing if you weren't aware.
You can go Heart Steel second too.
Yeah, you could go Heart Steel, I suppose. Yeah, because it obviously scales the bonus HP.
Yeah.
Not as big a deficit. The Dragon has been started up though. Chippy could be in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, Chippy's actually screwed up here as the Fiddlesticks ultimate going to come through. Immediate one-shot on the Shaco. Second time we've seen it this game, and it's being punished, this pick. It's a bit wacky as Crash Lightning used Wake Up, no flash, because he already used it earlier. Here comes Yumi ultimate, fleeing away as Dom's Pet, but he's going back in to take out the Jin, take out the Fiddlesticks. 2 kills for him. And the Zeri reaps the shutdowns that she sowed only minutes earlier.
I'm so glad Frozen Hands banned out Kog'Maw.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what state the game would be in if somehow Dom hands Kog'Maw right now? That'd be insane.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be scary. First tower now going to go down to Dom's Pet. I mean, this game is just getting worse and worse, man. That's not what you need to be seeing. You got a tank and a Zeri. Both of them off the charts in terms of the golden XP. And Feng Shui, look at him. Look at this! Is this gameplay? Is this League of Legends? I'm watching. Yeah. He's just taking out the tower. And he's just going to kill. Oh my god, it's disgusting. Stardock, try to run, try to hide, but Mundo's just going to find you, put you in the wall, and put a briefcase in your face.
Dear. Poor Stardock just got Jimmy Hofford. Yeah,
here's the replay. It's back at it. Let's watch it again, man.
Demolish a broad, guys!
Analyze this, please.
What can you do if you're a starter? I mean, you were 30 CS up, and you just cannot stand toe-to-toe with your lane opponent.
Yeah.
Like, arguably the most oppressive top laner at the start of Split 1. Jace top. I mean, yeah, it was tank top, but still.
Hold this thought, though, because here comes the... it just got stolen. Curtain Call now utilizes Amundo, still 4 HP as the Crash Lightning utilized again by Dom's Pet. He's finding his way into Star. He's in the front line, though. Feng Shui Master now following up. Has the Ghost invested, no ultimate there, but it doesn't matter. He's just run down the Jhin, put a briefcase in his face, similar to what he did to the top laner only seconds ago. And the Jhin now feeling the wrath of a 4-0 Mundo. And it's not the only time he's going to feel that this game, that's for sure.
Oh, dear. This is a bizarre game, but... look, maybe he's found a victim. I don't know if he has.
Spirit Rush, man. Here comes Star. He does have a point-and-click route, but he's not even going to get in range. Unless actually does this. Walks around, breaks the angles of Imperator. Root comes through Stardock, maybe gets his kill. There's no Spirit Rush available to save you anymore. Has the flash, doesn't even choose to invest it, and down goes Imperator.
And Demolisher proc. He may have got his one kill, but then suddenly, you know, nearly a third of the HP of that top inner is now gone because it's a Mundo.
Yeah.
Mundo is also... Okay, so yeah, I'll go back to the point that I was making. Jace tank top was arguably one of the most oppressive top laners come the start of Split 1.
Yeah.
And he is now dying to Mundo. Mundo's 4-0-2 in a 1v1 matchup because Starduck just did not know when to back off.
I mean, Jace is looking a little bit like an empowered cannon minion, I'm not going to lie. Mundo's running towards him with the same greed that I have whenever I look at a cannon minion in my games, bro. I'm just sprinting at it. And Feng Shui Master, he's not letting up. You see him, he's just running to top tower, demolishing it, running back, demolishing it, running back, demolishing it. He's just going to do this the whole game. And there's nothing you can really do against it apart from just sit and watch in horror.
Oh, okay, so Riot did get the Rift Herald at least. I thought maybe they missed out on it. But it should give them the opportunity to crack this mid-tier 1. Yeah, nice. Easy pickings. Chikawa in the wings will find anything onto Chippy. But
nothing more, unfortunately.
I mean, that's what you need. If you're Frozen Hands right now, you need to open the map a little bit more because you need those waves just pushing in so that Feng Shui can't go up and smack a tower really hard.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're exactly right, actually. The only way to play is away from Feng Shui. And then whenever he shoves a wave in, you need to spend a lot of resources to match him to make sure that he can't just crash the wave. Because I think if it's only Jace, we're about to see this in a second, I don't think Jace has enough of a disincentive for Mundo to not just walk up and hit the tower. He's not going to kill him.
Mundo just trade. They equally traded damage with the 2 Mundos.
Yeah.
Like, that's just insane. So Heartsteel, Warmogs, and Swifties. So this is an insanely fast Mundo, an insanely tanky Mundo. If he goes Spirit Visage next, he's going to be impossible to kill, even with the heal cut that Jinny's being forced into straight away.
Yeah. I mean, I also wouldn't be shocked if he just goes, like, either Titanic or Overlord's Bloodmail and goes for that full split-pushing demon fighter Mundo that I've seen. Here we go. HP scales with Demolish proc, so the more more HP you have, the more damage your Demolish proc is going to do. Love to see that on the tower.
And...
another fight here.
Okay.
I mean, he's dead. He's just dead. That's just what it is. Rest in peace to Chikawa.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a support fiddle. He's not going to have that Zhonya's anytime soon. I think if he does get it up at all, it will be a miracle, and we'll probably be about 45 minutes deep in this game. So yeah. I think realistically, honestly, if you just take the hard cut screenshot of the game as it at the moment, this game is over. There is just no way to comfortably deal with the Mundo. It just becomes a slow bleed out. He takes all your outer towers. He can't force objectives. Yeah, okay.
Oh my goodness, Heartsteel proc is coming through. Here's the Realm Warp, though. They're sending everything. Here comes the artillery and the monkey on the right side. Mundo ultimate proc. Can they break through this raid boss? Let's see them try. Feng Shui Master, he's running through. He wants Stardock with him. He goes down. The Mundo dies. They took him out, but they trade the Drake on the other side of the map, and sure, you get the raid boss down, but he gets 3 Heartsteel procs and a Cloud Drake for his team.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly it. He did exactly what he needed to, which is, if he's not getting objectives, he's drawing attention. It's almost the classic Baus. Like, he is just there to paint. He's painted a big old target on his back. The entire point of him is to draw the attention of Frozen Hands, so they're just distracted elsewhere. And that's exactly what he's done. He's enabled yet another Drake to go the way of Feng Shui. The last time, they didn't have that attention drawn around the map. He's got himself 2 items. I think, yeah, it looks like he is probably going to go the route of Spirit Visage, so... Again, just tripling down on the healing at the moment, so he gets harder and harder to kill. He had no resistances, which is why he does die there. Yes, HP is great and all, but if you don't have the resistances, you're just going to burn pretty quickly. Yep. Now he's going to start working on that.
I gotta be thank God that Unending Despair got nerfed as well. Because if this Mundo was running around with an Unending Despair like it was a couple patches ago, this game would, I mean, it's already pretty cooked, but it would be way worse. I want to point out something, though, is that the silent killer of this game as well. Obviously, there's a lot of attention on the Feng Shui Master in the top lane, running around on Mundo, but the bot lane, man, Dom's Pet is having a cracker of a game. 236 CS, it's 12 CS per minute, 3-1.
Oh, I don't think it's been a quiet game at all. He technically solo dive, but yeah, he's had a Yumi on his back, so he's aggressively jumped into multiple fights that he's then gone and found multi-kills off the back of. So I think, yeah. This series had a pretty spectacular game. There was no real priority in trying to shut it down. To be fair, I don't think Mirai would have been able to do much until 6 anyway. So they sort of left it and said, it's one of those, it's tomorrow Frozen Hands issue. We'll deal with that, sort of 20 minutes down the line when we need to. Unfortunately, that strategy's not working because he's now 2 items deep.
Ooh, Feng Shui Master running down the rise in the top lane. At the same time, Chikawa might be caught out by Dom's Pet. Starry's going to make his way out, but Chikawa not going to be so lucky. El Chippy walks his way towards him as he's going to leave the kill for the Mundo. Try to run, Chikawa. The briefcase barely going to miss, actually. He's going to make his way out. Here comes Wake Up to back him up. Mundo's not had enough with that, though. He's popped the ultimate. He's going to run towards the Fiddlesticks, forced to flee away, though. Self-peel is good as the Cyclone going to come through. Feng Shui Master healing so much, but they've connected with Dom's Pet in the backline. Curtain Cole going to find the full shot. Cat goes down. Mundo goes down. Chippy been rooted by the deadly flourish. And what has happened to Feng Shui Monks? The team fight has fallen to pieces in front of my eyes.
Well, that's called just over-eagerness is one word for cockiness, probably other. Hubris would be the apt description. Yes, Mundo is an absolute unit right now, but he is not Raid Boss Mundo yet. Far from it. He's still got a couple items to go before he can even consider being in that territory. All of a sudden, as soon as Jin's there, you've got heal cut, so the Mundo's not doing nearly as much as it could have. Starry's doing insanely well.
I mean, this is a good fight for him. I don't know if he can go all the way, though. His W's coming back in a matter of seconds here. It's just back now. Has the flash. Not going to invest it. Imperator forced to run away, though. Top priority. I mean, it's so secure. They're just going to start the Atacon. They are. Panda, they're doing a gambit.
They committed so much on the Chikawa. I think this is perfectly fine. I mean, Feng Shui just wastes so much time trying to deal with it, but there we go. Feng Shui's back. In the thick of it, ready to go.
That's a Shaco clone that's been rooted up so far. As here comes the Mundo walking in the backline, forces out the Riser's flash. He has no ultimate, so he's just kind of meat to the grinder here of Frozen Hands as they're pulling off the Atacon. Jace on the flank now, trying to find an engage angle. Is the Shaco clone going to pop on Wake Up? Spirit Rush forward, going to land on the wrong target. It's the monkey it hits, but Dom's Pet is in the backline. It's a massive Zeri ultimate, going to find 3 kills as all of Frozen Hands going to be cleaved down before the might of Feng Shui Monks clapping back in brutal fashion. It's 4 members who go down, 1 limps away. 3 members left remaining of Feng Shui Monks, and they've got big grins on their faces. Gee, man, that was brutal.
Yep. Hubris again. Starry survives, I suppose. You keep that. He's 3-0-6 and 450 gold going into the pockets of Yazeri, who's already that fed, would not have helped the situation by any stretch. But yeah, Feng Shui, again, still has no resistances. He is going to get that Spectral Cowl up now, so he's got a bit of magic resist. But in the face of heal cut, the Jin is going to be sitting in the back lines, just meaning he doesn't heal nearly as much. Didn't have the ultimate either. And Starry is an absolute unit right now. He's just had an absolute ripper in the mid lane. He's been pushing Imperator around pretty badly. Yeah. So he really is their win condition now.
100%. That's Zeri just full machine gun the mid tower, by the way. I've never seen that before. Using the passive and the Q at the same time. He has like 4 attack speed, one-shotting the mid tower under Starry's nose. That's brutal right there. Yeah, but Drake spawning out in a little bit. Baron up. Feng Shui on the bot side now, and I mean, it's so hard. It's so hard.
You show that Shaco clone. Well done, Frozen Hands. Big play. But I mean, yeah, Starry is easily the win condition for this Frozen Hands team now. Realistically, he was always sort of going to be. He was going to be the one that scales into that game the best. He's going to be the one able to do the most damage in any sort of team fight situation. But Feng Shui Monks are going to try and take this soul point for themselves. But Chikawa over the wall is going to be spotted. And that's the last thing you want diving into your team if you're Feng Shui Monk.
This is the 3rd dragon. So really keep your eyes on that Fiddlesticks. As you just said, it's the only way that I think you really have a chance here as Frozen Hands. As the Fiddlesticks connects with the Zeri. That's what we're looking for. He's found the flank angle though. Chikawa over the wall there. Feng Shui Masters, they're forced to pull off the Drake. Chikawa now going to be spotted out as they're sniffing him out here. Feng Shui Monks, I mean, Dob's Pet is frontlining. They've managed to find the Fiddlesticks, who doesn't have an angle here, so they're going to go over the wall. 4,000 HP left on the Drake. It's ticking down ever so slowly. Here comes the engage. It's a flash cycling in, but it's an overextension. Nothing to follow up. Here comes Mundo on the backline as well. Drake going to be secure. That's third. Drake goes down. Hot Still proc takes away all of Jin's HP. Might as well have cleaved his heart in 2. Is the Realm Walk going to be enough to take the last members of Frozen Hands out to safety? But they lose the Dragon, and they get nothing for it.
It was Startup and all of that. They obviously just ran bot lane and got the heck out of dodge, but that's going to be the cue to start up the Baron. They don't even need to go the Art of Khan. They know full well that Mariah's not in position to threaten. The Baron's going to do infinitely more for them. Suddenly, not only is Mundo an absolute impossibility to kill, but he's even got buffed up minions around him. It's he's dragging the minions along to the gym with him.
How nice must it be right now to be Smojo in this game? You're just a little cat man. You're just chilling. You can go on Mundo or you can go on Zeri, and either way, you're just going to be on the 1v9 Giga carry, sprinting around the enemy team, doing everything. You could be drinking a cup of coffee with both hands, and you'd probably win this game. It's crazy.
Yeah, just an infinite number of targets. I mean, realistically, you can sort of jump on anyone and find some pretty solid effect, but I have to say, it's a bit of a quiet game from Imperator. The Ahri hasn't had a heck of a lot to do in the mid lane. He's got 7 assists for himself, but for the most part, it's just sort of been under the pump against Starry on this rise.
Yeah.
16 to 11. I mean, the kill score speaks to a much closer game than it really is at the moment. They get some good damage out of that clone again.
Starry's going to take it down, but this time it might be punished, actually. You don't touch my Shaco clone and hear nothing from me. This time they're going to defend the dignity of, I mean, an NPC, realistically, and Starry loses his life for it.
Meanwhile, Mundo in the bot lane. Just pushing
pushing
his wave in. Yeah, this was always sort of the end situation. Mundo, it's going to be a 4-1 split. Mundo's just going to be off doing his thing. He's going to shred every tower that he finds. Meanwhile, there's just skirmish after skirmish going on around the outer walls of this Frozen Hands base. And there you go. Tower's gone. Fighting. Honestly, whatever Mundo's got pumping through those little earbuds of his must be getting him pretty hot.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Demolish really living up to its name here. Feng Shui Masters on the Mundo. I mean, he really is just running around demolishing towers, as that's the 3rd tower on the bot lane going to go down. Curtain Call coming through, but what effect does he even have? It's a voracious Atacon. Even if you kill anyone, which, let's be realistic, are they killing anyone? No. Oh, it's a pause. All right, well, even if you kill anyone, it doesn't matter, as game pause now. It was the Rise who disconnected, so I guess we'll see in a couple seconds what's going on here. Pretty anticlimactic point to pause, because I think this game, not long for this world.
Broke the game in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you got 1 second remaining. Realistically, there is potential that maybe they can make a play off the back of Starry, because, again, he is their win condition. He does almost all of their damage at the moment. Jin is just glorified heal cut for Starry, just to try and deny Mundo as much healing as possible. Well, he does get a decent amount of damage on the rest of the team as well. Starduck, much the same. It's just going to be damage. It is all sort of set up to help Starry finish people off. And then, of course, you've got Chikawa on the Fiddlesticks, who's just going to be in the middle of a team fight 1 second, dead the next.
I have a strategy for Frozen Hands to win this game. And it's very simple, okay? Pause now. Whatever the bug is, or whatever's going wrong, okay? You ask for a chrono break back to the 1st minute of the game, winnable. That's my take here. If we chrono break back 27 minutes, maybe we can get it done. If we are
think
Frozen
you
Hands
grossly overestimate the resources that we have at our disposal.
Okay, so you're saying that's not likely? That's
no.
5% chance, or
Smoko break, yes. Chrono break, no.
Okay. Yeah, so we're in a bit of trouble.
Tea and biscuits in the smoker, but no. I mean, I think realistically, this is just going to be maybe 30 seconds of fighting. As Starry comes off respawn, he's still got a second to go, so he's going to be even a little bit delayed off spawn. And
play should resume in 0 seconds, is what it's saying. So I guess we'll see if it has. So stream's a little bit laggy right now. I can anticipate what I think's going on, which is that Feng Shui Master on Mundo has just walked up to the tower and demolished it. Probably hitting the Nexus as we speak. That's
I mean, realistically, the game could be over because the game's done in 20 seconds. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's that's right. Oh, here we go.
Okay,
we're
so
back.
They actually back off.
Wow. I wonder what they must have been talking about in the comms. Guys, I don't think we can end. Let's play safe.
I think realistically, Starry is that much of a threat. If you just take a silly fight for Feng Shui, you could quite easily get wiped. Yeah, the one Spirit Visage, the Spirit Visage gives Feng Shui the resistances, but far from the resistances that you want to deal with the Fed Rise. So the rest of the team, you look at it, there is nothing to resist Starry at the moment. He really just does melt through the entire team.
Yeah, he's got 11,000 gold. He actually is the... Oh, no. I was going to say second highest gold in the game, and then I looked at Zeri, and my mouth actively just opened. 15,000 gold. 16,000 gold on Zeri. I'm floored.
He's been taking Mundo's course on finance.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, can I sign up for that? Is Mundo going to teach me how to drop ship? I'd love that, honestly. He knows exactly how to take a business school, that guy. And as it turns out, how to carry a League of Legends game.
I feel like Mundo's more timeshare rather than drop shipping. He'd be old school, like, financial fraud.
Yeah, he's got a course on embezzlement somewhere in there. That's Mundo's university.
No, his course on embezzlement is put money in briefcase, leave building.
Yeah. Well, put money in briefcase, in this case, throw it at Stardock's head and pick it up off his corpse, is what we saw this game. A few times, 4 times to be exact. There's Stardock now on the bot side, walking out. It's a brutal game. That's League of Legends for you. And that's what we're watching here. 30 minutes in the game. It's hopeless? Pretty hopeless?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, Stardock's, he's 3 items deep. He's well on his way to his 4th. So he's actually doing some damage now. Much the same with Jin. He's got 3 items. So while, yes, Mundo has a lot of HP, he's actually got next to no armor. I don't think he's got any armor, in fact, other than what the champion does have inherently. So while, yes, he's got a stupid almost 6,000 HP, there's no resistances to give it any longevity.
No, actually 100% right. And that is something that could potentially turn around a fight. Obviously, the Drake going to be spawning in a couple seconds. Think about 30, 40 seconds from now, and that's going to be game deciding. Whoever wins that, I mean, if Frozen Hands win it, they've still got a long road ahead of them, but if Feng Shui Monks win that, hold on a second. I'm gonna hold this thought, because Curtain Call has been used on the Mundo here. He's just going to ult out of the way, but it's 4 members yet again, reminiscent of what we saw about 15 minutes earlier. And this time, I think the same outcome, unless he's just going to walk it off. He's trying to go back to his tower, all the way back to base, but he's going to send to the shopkeeper instead. And that's not actually very good for Feng Shui Monks here. Is the Mundo going to die right before the Drake spawns, although it's getting shredded?
Yeah, no, it is perfectly fine. He plays his life there, draws the entire team, because it's the only way Frozen Hands does finish him off at the moment. Yeah. You saw how much damage he was doing to Starry. Starry just doesn't have the cycle that he needs. But draws the entire team up, gives the soul over. That's Cloud Soul on the Mundo.
God.
And a Zeri. Zeri with the Yumi in the back pocket. And a Shaco. So realistically, just a number of champions that you would not want a Cloud Soul on, they have a Cloud Soul.
Yeah. That's not an inspiring sight for the Frozen Hands here, as Chikawa's been spotted out. He had a nice little angle there, but he's going to be punished for it. Here comes Dom's Pet. And he's ravenous. He wants to chase down this guy. Oh my goodness gracious me. That Scarecrow is made of straw for sure. And it's a paper straw, definitely. It's got shredded by Dom's Pet.
It wouldn't be in the LTA, but... Stardock off on his own, doing his own thing. Which, to be fair, at this situation is kind of the best that he can do. Sort of just keep these waves shoved out. Mean that there isn't as much priority around the map. But you look at it, Baron is 26 seconds away. The second Baron of the game. Crazy enough that we are seeing 2 Barons this game as well, with the comp that has been drafted out of Feng Shui Monk. Yeah. I definitely thought there was possibility that this could have been a lot shorter. But while Zeri is fit, there isn't really enough survivability for them to take a full 5-on-5 fight, because if they isolate the Zeri with a Wukong and a Rise, she does die reasonably quickly, even with a Yumi. So yeah, Baron's going to be started up. Stardock is just pushed all the way to the tier 2 in the bot lane, so we'll get that. So a decent amount of money back, but at the cost of Baron with a Mundo who does not need to be with them. Yeah, he's just going to walk down this lane and probably start hitting Nexus towers, if I'm being honest.
He might as well, honestly, at this point. And the Nexus tower is definitely going to be hitting fairly soon, I'd imagine. For Feng Shui Monks is, that trade, as you said, it's 675 on the Jace, but 1,500 in the pockets of Feng Shui Monks just for taking Baron. It's not exactly what we want to be seeing. Trading is good, but trading down that much, it's a bit, it's an indicator of a game state. It's not exactly what you'd like.
Now the Titanic Hydra.
Yeah. So
Mundo just clears waves.
Not even that, he can triple auto attack reset. That's the thing. Because you can use your W, your E, your Q, and the Titanic at the same time. It's almost 4. It's insane how much damage it does.
Yeah, he's a bit busted, but... Void Staff now up for Starring. So he's going to be ripping through everyone on Feng Shui reasonably quickly. But again, the response is pretty severe from Feng Shui as well. The fact that your bot lane duo can pretty freely play around the map and has been able to for the better part of 15 minutes speaks to just how well this area is doing.
Yeah. And as much as Mundo has been going wherever he wants, Zeri's also been doing the same thing, and now she's just making merry on the top lane tower. Mundo pushing in mid at the same time. It's not a game you can win right now if you're Frozen Hands. Not a game of
mid, by
whack-a-mole
the
I'd
way.
like to play. Yep, and
He
Mid Tower's
just cracked
gone.
Nexus mid tower because they can't take him and the rest of the team at the same time.
They looked away for 2 seconds, and Mid Tower is, in fact, just in pieces. Mundo's just thrown it into a wall. And down goes top tower as well. Whack-a-mole game not going very well here. They need to find an engage. It's looking like they're going to do exactly that as the cyclone going to be used here. Deadly Flourish as well. Not going to connect as the curtain call. Wasted entirely. Dom's Pet's in there, though. He's crash lightninged all over them. And it's a double kill, triple kill, quadra kill, maybe pentakill. His Starduck is dead. It's an absolute evisceration for Dom's Pet. With the Yumi on top of it, he is a force to be reckoned with, as is Feng Shui Monks, and they're going to take Frozen Hands out of this tournament, put themselves in the last stand bracket, and just send them careening into what the hell just happened to us that game.
Well, our first penta of the OCC, and look, Mundo might go very pleased, but we saw at the very end, Zeri does as well, it seems. And to be fair, that was kind of an expected outcome. They had no real way to deal with the Mundo. Yeah, look, was a bit silly. There was a bit of silliness from Feng Shui along the way. They made some calls that were a bit risque, and so it did. It definitely slowed things down a little bit, but ultimately that was always going to be the result with those drafts, I think.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. I think that the Mundo was a complete slam dunk. As much as I thought the Jace was a slam dunk after I saw the bans, it was almost baited out. Because the second the Mundo comes through, there's just nothing. Particularly when it wins lane that hard.
Especially when you first pick Jhin.
Yeah.
Like, I think the only answer there in that situation is you pivot Jhin to mid lane, which is always just going to be a horrific time. Because yes, Lethality Jhin does an alright job clearing waves, but yeah, you kind of telegraphed the whole situation, and we've seen it so many times this year already. I can't remember which LCP team it was. They picked the Jhin early, and the immediate response was Skarner Scion, and the game was just over because there was just no hope of dealing with these two frontliners. Like, yeah. Unless you have an insane draft rounding out, which to be fair, Starry did a really, really good job. But the fact that he couldn't survive long enough in the team fight because Zeri was that far ahead. But yeah, I think it was an interesting call. And unfortunately for Frozen Hands, that is the tournament for them. It's Feng Shui Masters moving on to the 2-2 portion of the Swiss bracket.
It's a brutal game because one bad draft like that and it's over. I think now we're going to go for a break though, but stay where you are though, because we're going to have some more games. We've got one more game coming up. It's going to be an absolute banger. Hopefully as silly or a little bit less than what we just watched. Hope you enjoy.
Well, game one was certainly a draft.
Yep, we watched that. That happened.
Crazily enough, still not as troll as the draft that Rolsters just put up against Hanwha. But hey, look, it's hard to match what we just saw out of that game. But we've still got another one yet to go, Twee. We've seen Mundo and our first pentakill of the OCC.
Yes, and a good one at that as well. It was an absolute blink of an eye pentakill. Like, you could have missed it if you looked away for 2 minutes. Well, that's a long time, but, you know, couple seconds, Zeri just killed everyone. And it was a very impressive one at that. I was floored.
So was Frozen Hands pretty badly by the Mundo there. But yeah, I mean, look, game two, we are so doomed versus UQ LOL. I think we have the bracket available as well. So let's have a look and see what games have been finished in the Swiss. Because obviously, lives on the line, some teams will ultimately be eliminated. And we have 2 teams eliminated already from this bracket with 1 game remaining. Frozen Hands Pathies, unfortunately, are done. They have bowed out of the tournament from the 1-2 side of the Swiss bracket. With 1 game remaining, there is 1 spot left, and the last chance it is either going to be We're So Doomed or UQ LOL taking those spots. And from there, last chance, you are fighting for your life in that tournament. But I mean, coming into Twee, the teams that you've seen, is this sort of how you expect the bracket to have, rounded itself out?
Yeah, I would say fairly similar. I would say from what I saw of Jesus Loves You All when we watched them play, from what I saw of Five Mighty Bulldogs, when we watched them play, Bulldogs, I was impressed. I thought they would probably make it to last chance. I'm glad to see that they did. I'm also glad to see, I think Monks deserved their spot. They fought for it really hard in the last game. The draft was good, yes, but the way they played it as well, particularly in the laning phase, was executed so well from bottom top side, so they deserve where they are. And in terms of what we're about to see here, We're So Doomed versus UQ LOL, I'm excited. I think either outcome it represents how they've played throughout the bracket here. It's been tough. They're on a 1 and 2. They're going to fight for their way to make it to last chance. The competition inside of last chance is really hard. So even if they make it through here, they're not done fighting. But we'll see. We'll see if they're up to the task.
Yeah, I've got some bad news though, unfortunately, Twee, because Queensland have already been dumpstered tonight. So hopefully they have better luck here. Unfortunately, the Chiefs took down the Reds pretty handily. It was not a match at all. But UQ coming in, a bit of redemption for Queensland. So we'll see as we have a look at the teams. Of course, We're So Doomed, True Mangs, Cat Moon, Is Life, Jarmez, and Rio Fury, and then of course UQ LOL, the Junga, Luku, Hari. Okay, these names are just god awful.
That's tough, yeah.
King Boomy, and Nigga. Yeah, look.
Ooh.
I've seen worse names. I've seen far worse names in competitive esports that I've then had to try and wrap my vocal cords around to both success and failure.
I think the UQ LOL's jungler name should actually be illegal. That is, I'm gonna have to play-by-play that. I'm not saying this name. I'm saying the champion. That's a freaky name. That's crazy. I'm impressed. I'm
just gonna call him Luke. Like surely that's
Luke.
That's,
actually,
that's
you know what? I take
Luke.
it back. You make a good point, my friend. He's called Luke now.
Yeah.
I like the name now. It's a good name. But on the other side,
I mean, in terms of the teams, the fact that Rio Fury is playing twice for We're So Doomed might be a bit of an issue.
I was gonna say the exact same thing.
Okay, so we are obviously there has been a bit of a swap into. Okay, so the names Rio Fury the top lane, Cat Moon, Easy Life, Cadence, and Gumby. Not a bad roster. I don't know if maybe they're manifesting destiny by calling themselves We're So Doomed. Maybe they're already in the bin, but I mean, coming into it, UQ has a pretty solid history in the competitive scene as well.
Definitely. They run multiple tournaments around the world, so not around the world, around OCE. So hopefully their team performs in this tournament. I expect to see good things from them. Obviously, they did go 0-2 though. So we saw in the Swiss bracket, they did go 0-2. They're in the 1-2 bracket now. Need to make the reverse streak run, if they want to make it all the way. So long task ahead of them. Big challenge.
Yeah, I think we're going to probably return to a more stable draft. I think between these two teams, I'm not expecting a Cogmore ban into a Jin first pick or a Mundo top lane again in this draft. I think we're going to see something a little bit more consistent with what is contemporarily considered mainstream. But there is still room for those, not quite pocket picks, but those picks that are sort of on the fringes, purely because they're more personal favorites rather than just necessarily being what is considered the good pick and what should be played by a specific role.
And we saw the Shaco win last game, but I mean,
I don't want to talk about that.
Do you think it's fire? Yeah, can you talk about that? I mean,
it was bad enough we saw the Mundo win.
Yeah.
Okay. Mundo,
we can skip over that.
It's crazy. It's crazy that Mundo is picked. Shaco was picked. They both won, and Zeri got the first pentakill of the tournament. All for that team. Like
that's an insane. Yeah, that's insane.
It was just a perfect symphony of absurdity to make miracles happen there.
Tough follow-up as well. If you are We're So Doomed right now, if you are UQ LOL, you watch that last game, you might be thinking, gee, how are we going to stand up to the performance quality that we just witnessed? And yeah, not easy. Definitely not easy.
Yeah, there is a bit of a task. But I mean, realistically, this should be a bit more vanilla in terms of the gameplay. I'm not expecting any crazy shenanigans in terms of your top laner dying twice in lane to a Mundo and literally giving him the keys to the penthouse and letting him... I mean, realistically, if Starduck does not die twice in lane there, that is a drastically different game. Because you look at it, Mundo, yes, was still behind at the end of lane phase, but it was only by about 100 gold, which, I mean, he was down... Starduck was up almost double the CS of Feng Shui there, so...
You got to say, he played it well before 6. He did. He objectively did play it well before 6. It's just that level 6 timeout. He spiked it with the Ghost with the ultimate. It's impossible to get away. If you're that pushed up, punished. And from there, it's just wraps. That's how knife's edge playing Jace is at this level, particularly when you're playing against a champ as good as Mundo. So I guess we'll see. Maybe in this game, there's going to be similar matchups. I hope that they're a little bit more back and forth, we might say. There was a certain... I mean, one team was just getting bashed and ragdolling around, and the other team was kind of just holding the mallet last game. Hopefully we see something different in this game. We never know. You don't know until you see the draft. So speaking of draft, that was well timed from me. Gee, that was professional as hell. That
is what we in the biz call a segue, and we are in fact writing it.
Well, there we go. Let's see the bans. Are we going to see the Cogmore ban be one this time? Probably not.
Please no. It's a Cogmore. The last time I can remember a Cogmore being viable, it was played by Gosu. So it was a wee while ago.
That's a while ago. Yeah, holy.
Yeah. We're talking deep in the trenches, but it's a Gwen first round back, which is more in line with what I would have expected. She's been quite impressive as of late. I mean, doing well into most matchups, even into Rumble, which at the moment I think is probably considered the most impressive top laner at the moment, just because he's an absolute unit. And
yeah, he's a unit.
I mean, since the start of the year, he's kind of been an absolute unit. Multiple 1vx's won because it's a Rumble and he just burns them to death. Rengar, the response. I mean, look, the guy's name is Cat Moon. I can understand it.
Yes, I can understand that as well, actually. Could be
he might
a
not,
one-trick champion.
Might not be a Rengar one-trick, but do you really want to gamble it with a guy with a name like that?
He's Rengar or Yuumi, and one of those champs plays in the jungle. And Yuumi could. We could see that. Yuumi jungle.
Well, Shaco
I'm not betting on it.
Has a cat skin now.
That's true.
Before, so.
Oh, please no. Oh, Zed. Hey. Shout out from you.
Yeah, look, Zed. Again, we've seen a rise in assassins almost in comp play at the moment. More Neferi in the jungle, but Zed has sort of wafted his way into competitive play as well. The LCK have been picking him up. I believe LPL's picked him up a couple of times. North America's going to try it, and then it won't ultimately matter because they're going to be first eliminated from the tournament. Either way, it is going to be, I think, a pretty consistent return for assassins into play. I mean, they're not going to flood comp play, but we are going to start to see more of them. Lissandra banned out as well, targeted away from Easy Life. Again, a very oppressive mid laner. If just given even a little bit of room to work with, that Glacial Prison is just such a problem for an AD carry.
Does it herald a pick, though, is what I'm trying to think. So if you're a Lissandra banner, what are you likely to play? Like, what are we looking at for Revenite potentially? Like, banning Lissandra, maybe Akali? I mean, Zed's already taken away, so we know he likes to play Assassins. Could be Talon. Could be something weird like that we might be seeing on the side of UQ LOL. I guess we'll find out here. Is the last ban going to be Hecarim, another one-trick champion? 2 solo queue demons taken out of the pool with the Rengar Hecarim gone. No smurfing in this game. As it turns out,
honestly, I'm leaning more towards like Nocturne or Orianna first round for We're So Doomed. Just with what I'm seeing. Okay, Karthus.
Well, that's
to be fair, look, much the same. Those bans also made Karthus' life, well, lack of, very hard as well. So I'm imagining this is going to be Karthus for Cat Moon. I don't see it being played in lane. Lilia is the immediate response, and that does, to me at least, bode a bit of a problem, given that she's quite capable of keeping a distance, not to mention the fact that on Ezreal as well. So all of a sudden, off the 2 picks alone, Karthus is going to have a very hard time sticking for the most part. Requiem is going to be his bread and butter. That is going to be most of what he offers this game, I think. It's just the ultimate.
Yeah, so if he gets ahead, then that's kind of scary because you have just picked double squishies. You picked double mobile squishies, okay? So it is hard for the Karthus to get value outside of the Requiem. But the Requiem is, I mean, that's value in it there. He can press the R button before the night, tactical nuke your entire 5-man roster, leave you in tatters before the fight even starts as the Victor Nautilus now going to be picked up. And I mean, it's fairly standard. No, this is stock standard.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage, a lot of magic damage primarily already from the first 3 picks. So you're probably going insane 80 damage out of Cadence, and then top lane, probably something on the lines of an Ambassador, maybe even the Jace again coming through.
Yeah.
Rel, Ezreal in the bot lane. I mean, it's not the pairing that I would have most associated together, but I mean, Ezreal's strong at the moment. Rel's very, very strong at the moment in terms of what she offers. Renekton's going to be banned away on the top side. So UQ, you'll all have cottoned on to the fact that there is a distinct lack of physical damage coming out of We're So Doomed, so the Renekton going to be the likely target. Aatrox as well.
I mean, Ambassador is so broken right now. No Renekton, no Aatrox.
I think that's probably going to be priority. Misfortune. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of setup for the Misfortune, so it would have been reasonably good. I think it just struggled being a little bit immobile into a Lilia. Bit rough, but yeah, would have been pretty solid. Irelia.
That's a one-trick champion right there. Interesting ban. They didn't ban it in the first phase. They're banning it now. What does that mean they're going to pick in top?
I would have to imagine it's something along the lines of Ambassador. So Rise in the mid lane.
Jace even.
Yeah, I just don't think Jace offers enough for the team. Well, I mean, okay, he offers burst, I suppose, but it's not sort of that AoE. Xayah, Nautilus, pretty solid combo at the moment. Rakan's available, but I mean, how much do you really want to?
Whoa, blinding Yone top, no Renekton.
Yeah, Yone top. I mean, they can switch. That's the thing. So Yone and Victor can realistically flex between both lanes. Not often that we see a Victor top lane, but the Jax comes out into the Yone. I think if you're smart, this is probably Victor top lane, Yone mid.
Yeah,
realistically, I think that's probably the best lanes for them.
It's that or the Gauntlet has been thrown down in top lane because that is a very volatile matchup. That is a genuine heater matchup. Both Jax and Yone, they want to do one thing, and that is just beat on the other guy. Unless
this is like Karthus top, Yone jungle, Victor mid lane. Who knows?
Oh my god. In which case, turn it off. In which case, I don't want to watch this, Like, that's like... We have the most insane matchup we could possibly have, or we have Resident Sleeper bedtime matchup.
You know what's crazy? So at one point, Nautilus was a jungler. So
that's true.
They're not for a very long time. Not for a very, very long time. But I mean, arguments could be made. He's probably not the worst at the moment. Does still struggle a little bit, but yeah.
There we go.
So okay, so yeah, it is as you would expect. I think again, realistically, if you're Weirdo, you kind of just send Yone mid and Victor into Jax is going to do reasonably well.
Now, this is very exciting. I'm super hyped for this game. I think the matchups here are extraordinarily interesting, particularly compared to what we witnessed last game. It's already an early invade here. The Nautilus could start the dredge line, potentially catch out Luke. If he gets a bit overzealous hopping around the jungle, but he's not going to make any mistakes yet. I'm so excited, man. I want to watch this top lane matchup. I want to watch this ADC matchup. I want to watch this mid matchup. Let's watch this game.
Now, the question is he lucky, Luke, in the jungle? That's to be determined, but yeah, I don't know how the Yone matchup goes into the Jax. I think Jax just got a lot of tools, and yeah, first blood's going to be drawn, Counter-Strike on the Refury.
Q sidestepped as well there. I mean, it's brutal. Sure, he can take the extended trade here. Actually has a lethal tempo. I think Jax probably loses this. Q2 now up and available. No E for FTR. He's overplayed his hands here, and he might get punished if Q2 going to come through, maybe land a hit. Nope. Lethal tempo, just showing its potency in the early game, that trade right there, versus the Grasp.
The crazy thing is neither of them are going to be able to back off, so potions are burned. Jax is going to have slightly more sustain in the Grasp, in assuming that he can get those hits off with the Counter-Strike, which he should realistically be able to, but if Ryu can stack up those Qs, get the knock-up off, he might even be able to deny that away. So I think has to be the game plan, and unfortunately he misses there on the second.
Yeah, the spacing too good from FTR, and that's the important part of this matchup. If you miss your Qs on Yone, it opens up the window for FTR to take the trade. What you want to be doing is forcing out the... I'm going to hold this thought here because here comes a Lilia. She's going to evade the jungle. Counter-Strike used as well on the top side, taking the grass proc. Wraith Fury's health bar dropping lower and lower as the Lilia now showing her face, flashes forward onto Catmoon. You're on a Karthus this game, my friend. You cannot take this 1v1 versus this deer careening through the red side jungle. Sorry, blue side jungle. Dodging away from the Qs. Gromp actually reset back to full HP, and she's going to try and take it. I think it's a bit overzealous as there's a fight again happening in the top side. As I said earlier, this is a very volatile matchup, very volatile game, as here comes Revenite on the rise. Walking around, he's going to get a flank. He can flash the wall here. It could be absolute disaster, and he does exactly that. Flashes over the wall. Cat Moon maybe going to trade one kill, but it's being dodged, it's being sidestepped. Luke is not going to... Oh my god, he's messing with him. Ah, down he goes. Down he goes. What's going on the bot side as well? King Boomy and Neka managed to get a 2v2 kill. There's a dead Nautilus on my screen. Fright Night. But it's a frightful day on the Rift for this guy. Dead on the ground. And, I mean, carnage in the first 3 minutes.
Hubris is a very, very powerful thing. Especially in League of Legends. We've learnt that this year.
Yeah.
Lucky Luke not. He's very unlucky. I mean, that was just ego. Entirely ego. I don't know why you were sticking around that long in the enemy's jungle. Yes, it might be a Karthus. Yes, you might be a Liliot, but this that early in the game that you're not going to miss out too much just pivoting and the counter-strike early.
That's perfect right there from FTR. Punishes the Yone as well. So Re Fury, I mean, he's got a little bit tense there, a little bit nervous. You can see he's already struggling a little bit mentally in the matchup here. Getting outplayed just a little bit so far.
Yeah. The one boon being that Easy Life did get that pick. He gets himself a kill back at least, and Ryu is going to be struggling a little bit.
It's just trouble. It's a lethal tempo trade here. It's a massive wave as well. Luke's here, but there's no counter-strike on the Jax. Q flash available for Yone, but he's flashed aggressively already, taking a tower shot, maybe gets the 1v2 off, can't sidestep out of the Lilia W. There was something there, but he just wasn't good enough to grab it.
Crazily enough, once again, blue side top lane has died twice in lane.
Yeah. That's a brutal death too, man.
Oh, this is wild times of League of Legends here in Oceania. But I mean, UQ with a 4-1 lead, they're cheap as this. 1,600 gold ahead at 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's convincing.
And I mean, it's spread. It's pretty well spread across the map, but 1,600 gold is still a lot this early in the game.
And I think the title of the blue side team, or the team name, is giving an insight into what the comms are saying right now. Because it's definitely how I'd be feeling if I was the Zyre in this game. Looking around at its destruction everywhere else. It's the Rel Shattering Strike on the Nautilus. Ezreal not going to be able to proc the W. Nothing really going on the bot side so far. Drake going to spawn very shortly, 5 seconds from now. The junglers both on the same side of the map. Bit of an aggressive trade, actually. Neka might be caught out. I think he's in big trouble. Ignite already. Flash away from him, though. Gumby not going to be able to follow up. Doesn't have his own flash. Dredgeline going to go wide. Cadence just had vision, I guess, and takes out Neka. He's going to... fall in the bot side alcove as King Boomy now unable to step up in the bot side river, and potentially Drake going to be the prize for We're So Doomed.
I don't even think he had vision. I think it was just like a process of elimination. Well, he's not on our side. He hasn't walked out the other side. Chances are he's probably just sitting right there. So he just throws the bitters out, blade gold, and then all of a sudden, there was just nowhere else to go. The Neka, who unfortunately, just gets caught out, overextended. And as a result, will go down, gives a kill back, at least We're So Doomed.
Oh my goodness. Fate sealed already. Re Fury, he's missed a Q, he's missed his ultimate. FTR, he's making a clown show of the top lane here, but he's still managing to lose the trade.
Yeah, that lethal tempo, I think, is just paying out dividends right now for Ryu. And FTR, he's breaking ankles right now.
Yeah. PP already invested in the mid side. Dragon started up by Luke. Revenite has those boots available, has the tier as well, so he's chilling, he's in a good spot. Dredgeline available from Nautilus. Is another trade already. Unsealing the fate is Re Fury. FTR has the Grandmaster's Might, has a counter-strike, there's no flash, you don't have E, you've overplayed your hand, and you're gonna get punished for it. Down you go. Jax, 0-3 Beyond now. It's brutal.
6-2 with it. 0-3 Yone top lane.
Yeah. It's a tough game.
This game is in a state.
It's a tough game, that's for sure. Grub's now going to be taken away. And I actually didn't notice this as I was throwing over the cast to you. But I think Nautilus died while I was talking about the Yone. I was reveling in my own wordplay. And Nautilus died, actually, is what happened. So rest in peace to Gumby. Got caught in mid lane, gave the kill over to Ryze, and now there's a 2-1 Lilia, a 2-0 Ryze, a 1-0 Jackson, a 1-0 Ezreal running around the Rift.
Yeah, bleak times. Bleak times indeed. Okay, so Grubs, Dragon, 3 kills, 1 more objective, whether that's... Well, to be fair, neither of them are going to be up in a wee while. You've got what? Just under 4 minutes.
Couple
next
minutes,
Grubs,
yeah.
Next Drake is a wee way off. Yeah, 4 minutes as well. So 4 minutes, and it should be Feats going over to... Or Luxie and Blessing going over to UQ Lol, because they've just had that much control around the map. This Karthus is just been... Okay.
Goodness gracious me, Bluetooth hook on Gumby right there. Someone check that guy's computer. Vanguard might not be working correctly, as he's also sidestepped the True Shot Barrage with deft. Another trade on the top side, though. He's just used the Q2 aggressively without getting the Jax E first. And down he goes yet again. Luke this time, the beneficiary of FTR's outplay. But 0-4 now on the Yone. He's just having a really tough game when it comes to the mechanical 1v1. And it is a hard matchup. I do want to point this out, but yeah, it's been bad.
Averaging a death every 2 minutes.
Tough.
It's something at least.
That is,
Whereas
yeah,
UQ Lol almost averaging a kill a minute.
Jesus.
Catmoon is going for a steal, only for him to be collapsed on by Rev Knight. And yes, your Karthus is a 6.
Oh my god, the rise.
Rev Knight's 2-0, by the way.
Yeah, Blasting One is doing exactly that. As here comes a Requiem, though. There's an overstep on the bot side here. King Boomy maybe goes down to the Feather Caller Flash. And down he goes, no Blade Cooler needed. Zaya jumps over his head, moats on his corpse, and that's actually quite nice. For Weso Doom. 2-0 Zaya.
Well, excuse me, put all the eggs in the cadence basket. Sorry, it's my brain's lagging.
No, this game is putting me to sleep too.
Over this game and the last one.
Yeah, that's okay. There's a lot to process, my friend. That's for sure.
I mean, it's not a Yasuo that's...
Oh, it's even more to process. Flash Fade sealed. Revenant goes down. Hello. Goodbye.
Can we see the goal now, please, quickly? Because I just want to see how much of a swing that is back.
There's a Lilting Lullaby. Jax is coming. Lilting Lullaby used, and this guy's dead as well. I think it's a 0 and 5 angle on the Yone. Counter-strike as well. Stunned up, locked down, put to sleep, buried in the river.
I was going to say, so... Yeah, okay, up until that kill, it was like 100 gold bar. Off the back of picking up the kill on the Rev Knight. So that was his avenue back in, and then he gets caught in the bush. So, yeah, it has not been a day for the top laners, it seems. That was, to be fair, it was a good shutdown. It was like 500 odd gold, and then he gets caught. Just immediately caught, Lucky Luke, in a bush, waiting for him.
Yeah. Back to live now. The Dragon going to spawn in a matter of seconds there. I think it was taken fairly quickly after it first spawned. Is now top tower. I mean, it's just getting whacked. It's feeling a little bit like what we just watched. I will be honest. But this time it's a Jackson, not a Mundo. And he's not taking business calls. He's just taking you out on business, is what he's doing, the Jax here. Oh my goodness, it's a 3-man stack. It's a Fnatic brush here. And Nekka gonna go down. Dredgeline of use as well. Ah! He's alive! He lived! The boy who lived! But this time it's a Rel, and I don't know how he's managed to stay alive there. That's pretty insane, as the Grandmaster's might going to be invested here. Counter-Strike already used, presumably. It's FTR. He's running him down. Red Fury, no Q2 to get away, but he's going to make it out with his life. Just barely ekes out of that situation. And, I mean, it's carnage across the map yet again. It's 10 minutes in the game, and it's just non-stop.
I mean, FTR had flash there. He could have committed and then flashed out of tower range.
Yeah, I mean, if he wanted to get that kill, he could.
What are you doing?
That's tough.
I suppose at that point you are essentially, again, a minion. You're 1 in 5.
To give him credit, the only thing you can realistically do in this situation, there's two things. You can lose gracefully, which is what you should do in solo queue. And potentially here, you can try your best to lose gracefully. Or you can throw everything at a Hail Mary, which is what we're seeing here, but he's missed the Yone ultimate. It's a banana combo. Oh, man. That was your chance. That was your chance. You're in backed up by a jungler. It has the Requiem. Actually, potentially FTR goes down anyway here. Q going to be flashed there. It's a defensive flash. Glad he didn't invest it earlier. Now is the Jax. His patience pays off. But still, I mean, Ryu Fury, man, he's got to be feeling so bad after that ultimate.
That's the classic Yasuo Yone mentality. 10 HP in a dream. That's all you need.
Yeah. At least
even if he hits that, I'm not even sure he still takes down the Jax. Like, it would have been a very, very close affair.
You have to one-shot him before he gets his E off. That's the gambit. So if you have the damage, you can. You don't have the damage, you don't, you go 1 in 6. But it's going to be the grubs taken away now. That's nice. That is nice.
Yeah, it's going to help a little bit, but that is Noxian Blessing taken. Oh. That's Ryu back to lane. In fact, I think that's both of them back to lane, and they've just lost all of their HP, and they're going to back off again.
I mean, the heavy trading in top lane is it's brutal up
Actually,
there.
no, sorry, no, neither of them have left. They have just been sitting here regenning HP.
That's crazy. I guess the Yone probably favored in that instance, because he has the... actually, I don't think either of them are favored if they're both regenning HP. Hold on a second, Cadence. How do you get out of this situation, my friend? I don't think Sherlock Holmes can solve this puzzle. And yeah, you're gonna have to 1v2 it. Sidestep the Shattering Strike's a good start, though. You have Feather Cooler. You're gonna use it. There's the flash forward from Nautilus. Gonna invest his own ultimate to try to peel you a little bit. He's doing a great job. Dredge line away, Necker. And actually, they've turned this play around. Sherlock Holmes be damned. Cadence is on the case, and he's good enough to do it. Ryu Fury now, I mean, put it off the screen. He's going to go downhill. Lilting Lullaby could be invested if Luke Show chooses, and maybe he should actually. He's going to wait for the double sleep. That's beautiful right there. Good patience. Maybe going to be punished, though, as the Victor ultimate going to land on top of his head. Easy life. Now in the fray. He could get a double kill if he plays it well, and the Lily goes down. First kill secured. Easy life. His life getting easier and easier now as what the heck happened in bot side? It was a double kill for King Boomy. I'm going to need Sherlock Holmes back on the case here, because I'm very confused. Can someone explain to me what happened? There's a double murder. We got a double homicide, and Ezreal's the one who did it.
So, again, hubris. You get the kill onto Necker. You then think you can tower dive Boomy. You can't, because he's got a Triforce and cooldown boots. So he just cycles a lot of damage with the help of the tower. You've already used the Feather Dance, so you don't have the bailout that as I traditionally would have. And as a result, you eat like 6 tower shots and die.
Yeah,
I think is what we missed there.
Yeah, so it sounds like a cut and dry double homicide. No funny business there. Bit of hubris and an overextension as Necker now might be caught out. Ryu Fury somehow made his way down from the top lane. His endless skirmish has ended as he's made his way to mid, but the Grandmaster has followed him down and he's going to punish him with a lamp in the face before he's able to get his ultimate off. Now he's reaping his wrath on the rest of the team as Cat Moon next to fall. This time actually leading the kill for the ADC, although it's secured by the Lily's burn. It's just, I don't know what to say.
Toxic jungler, stealing kills.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Revit's just up at the top side. He's also got the kill there, I think. Was it? No, okay, I think they just all died, and then it was Rev Knight off on his own. So it goes from bad to worse pretty quickly. It's spiraling to a point where, I mean, you what? 14-6?
Yeah. You have win conditions, though. We've invested a lot into Cadence.
No, hold up. I just realized. Not only are you 14-6, but your top lane has contributed exactly half of your enemy team's kills.
Yep, that's tough. That is, that's my solo queue experience. I play top. That's, it happens to me, you know, sometimes, occasionally. I can relate to Ryu Fury right now. I understand the feeling he's having. His easy life now forced to flash away is the Realm Warp. A little bit too good there from Revenite. Although, he's been flashed into a death trap here. Not exactly where you want to be flashing. There's a lot of places you can flash. You know, the Bahamas, you can flash there. But instead he's flashed into the river and he's been found by Necker.
Yeah, no, I made the mistake of letting Bastion convince me to play a rank game upon my return to commentating League of Legends.
Yeah.
And the first thing we see in Champion Select, because it was reasonably low elo flex queue. So yeah, it was like the 5, whatever the 5 man was.
Flex.
And the first thing we see is
goodness.
going Lethality Sigh on top late.
Oh, that's
so he read the Baus guide, but only the first sentence of it, which is Inching Sigh.
Yeah.
He died 8 times in lane to a Riven.
Ooh. That trade was actually quite good there. The Bork, he's actually flashed forward, actually landed the ultimate for the first time in, millennia. I've never seen a Yone do that before, and he's just been put to sleep. Wait, he did land the ult. That's improving. That is progress, my friends. Maybe next time, we win. That's the mentality that Ryu Fury has right now, and I respect it, personally, as a top enjoyer myself. But he's going to need to put that into action. And it's going to be very difficult for him as we see the replay of exactly what happened here. It's a Q Flash ultimate. It's good from Ryu Fury. It's well played mechanically, but then, I mean, this happens. Jax presses E. Yeah. There is no counterplay. Goodbye.
Seeing that as improvement is much like the military policy of, oh, they can't shoot all of us at the same time. If we throw enough bodies at them, eventually the guns will clog or they'll run out of ammunition.
That's right.
And I think, while a bold strategy, not one that is currently working for We're So Doomed, who are very much embodying the name that they have assigned themselves for this tournament.
Yes, lamps don't have ammunition, as FTR is proving to us. Here comes the Realm Warp. It's a flash forward Magnet Storm, and Neck has found the engage on Cadence. The win condition slipping from Weso Doom's fingers as we speak. He's gonna be able to... Nah, nothing happens. He might have been able to outplay a similar situation previously, but this one, there's nothing. Down he goes, and that's really, really, really bad. If you are Weso Doomed, it just gets worse.
And Karthus is dead. Dragon's being taken.
Yeah.
26. At least Rue Fury is no longer contributing half the deaths for his team. The rest of the team is now catching up.
Is that a good thing?
And he's got an objective. He got the top tower. And he might die. So, yeah,
no, he's 1v1ing. We win these. Come on. Lock in Ryu Fury. Dodge everything. It's good. Counter Moss, Counter Strike. Already used as well. Grandmaster's Might now invested. And he's trying to outplay it, but no. Down he goes. Yeah. Not very pretty. Not very pretty at all. 1-9 now on the Yone. 5-0 on the Jax. It was something. It was a play. That happened.
It was certainly one of the plays of all time. Not far from the best plays of all time, but it was definitely a play.
That happened. I watched it. It was viewed by the casters. It's mid-wave now going to be shoved by Cadence. Actually, his priority, which is nice. But realistically, what can they deal with it? Because we're looking at a game state. 3 Drakes to UQ lol. 5-0 top laner, 6-1 mid laner, 5-1. I mean, is there anything for Weso Doomed?
Okay. Tweet. What do you reckon? What's the goal difference currently between our top laner?
Ooh, that's tough. That is, when I did maths, we didn't go much beyond 4 figures. And it's potential that could be a 5-figure gold difference. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of gold difference we're seeing. But no, I think it's like 3K, 4K, potentially. Okay. Which is a lot.
3K, it's...
2K.
What? 1.5. 1.5.
Oh. Maybe this guy is following the Bowser's teachings. Maybe they're all good deaths. I didn't consider this.
He's even in farm. He's just died 9 more times.
That's mildly impressive. I'm some part of me respects that, which is, you know.
Yeah. It's something. Not something good, but it's something.
There we have a little 1v1 on the bot side.
Congratulations, you tickled the rise. He's 2 items deep.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to find anything to say realistically because I want to be positive, right? I want to be on Weso Doom's side, but then this happens and it's now 1-10 on the Yone. I do believe banana combo this time gonna land. It's more of a, I mean, it's a banana peel, I guess. It's a peeled banana. It's a tasty banana combo. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I can yap about bananas all day, but at the end of the day, there's a corpse in the top lane for the 10th time.
Yeah. 1-10-1.
Yeah. Speaks for itself. Yeah. 1-11 and 1. That's an angel number. Could see that. Maybe. Later in this game.
I don't doubt that we are going to get there at some point. We are rapidly approaching that state of the game.
Yeah.
Blind picking a Yone into top lane was a bold call.
It was.
Running it down 1-10. Also a bold call.
Yes, that is a bold call. Oh my goodness gracious me. Bold call is definitely a word choice for what just happened. I'm not sure a call. I don't think there was any thought process that went into that. Hold on a second. There might be another pick here. Revenant force flash over the wall. Ignite actually going to be enough to take him down. Gumby, I mean, no. They've just collapsed around them and they just put them to sleep. It's all 4 members now go down them. Requiem coming through.
Nothing.
Sonya's.
Just
nothing.
Not even a tickle.
It's nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Easy Life wasn't even there for that fight, which is the craziest bit. Like, to be fair, I don't think he would have done a heck of a lot, but
yeah,
we can hope, we can dream, we can pray. This tower is about to go down. Easy Life is about to die.
Easy Life versus King Boom. He actually drops a silence on his head. Ezreal, he's just going to auto-attack him to death with the lethal tempo, throws the Mystic Shot into his face, and Victor goes down. Arcane Season 3 leaks. Ezreal the one to get the kill. I don't know. I feel like I've lost all my my eloquence because I'm just floored at what we've been watching. I have no words to describe the action. Like, what do I say to make a Yone TPing into the fray epic? He just TPs in, gets one shot. It's impossible.
I think the only word we can use to describe it is iconic, on brand.
Okay, that's good. These are neutral terms. We need more of these.
He's not a Yasuo, but he's the next best thing.
That's right. On brand is good for it. This is what you'd expect to see from the Yone. Not in a setting like this, as we are 27-7 on the kills, 21 minutes in the game. That's scoreline.
It is one again. It's definitely a scoreline.
With a lot of those this game, a lot of things of all time that have happened.
The fact that Ryu Fury is actually a hidden farm is quite impressive. Given the current... Oh no.
Okay, no, he wins this. Come on.
One more?
E forward, Spirit Rush. He's going to miss the ultimate, but that's okay. He can potentially outplay this. Has the Q2, going to use it over the wall, but FTR might chase him down. It's a 1v2 situation here for Ryu Fury. Can he outplay it? Can he maybe make something happen here? I don't think he is. As Caden's actually going to E-Flash on the Ezreal. Maybe going to find something in mid lane. At the same time, don't forget about what's happening in top lane. Realm War coming through now. Luke is here. Nekka coming as well. It's going to be another kill, and I mean, double kill in mid lane for the Lilia. She's managed to rotate to this play as Ryu Fury going to Q forwards on the Jax FTR. Maybe going to look for a play. Catmoon next to full here as the Grandmaster gonna jump on the head of the Singer. Down he goes. Ryu Fury now eating forwards, has to outplay this, has to find something in this sea of misery for his team, but he's not able to. He drowns in it, and down he goes. Quadra kill for Lilia. Luke has just run around the map, taken everything for himself, and are we gonna see another pentakill?
Give him.
Come on, baby. Can we get the penta? Here comes Luke.
No!
He wants it. No! Easy Life is gonna deny him the penta, and that's it. Actually, that's all. That's a wrap, folks. That's all Easy Life's gonna get for his team. It's a small moral victory and a exceedingly large
behavior.
Game loss.
Okay. All right. Okay. Your jungle Lily has gone and got a Quadra, spreading from mid to top lane, and then almost found the Penta. Unfortunately, just had no HP to work with, and Easy Life is just not going to freely give his life away.
Oh man. Now, do you think if this was a custom game? It wasn't a custom game, it was a ranked game, and we all used the report function on Ryu Fury, do you think he would be able to play again? As you can ponder that while we're seeing another engage here in the bot side river this time. Gumby first to fall. I think the next to fall will be Catmoon. We can place bets if you like, but I think all the odds are going to be in the favor of UQ LOL here. Midwave now going to be pushed in. Catmoon, in fact, was next to fall, so if you bet on him, congratulations, you win. I think the odds were like 1 to 1.1 or something, so not much money, but it's a small win at that.
Oh god, I just realized Ryu Fury's 1-12-2.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. He's gonna
find the way. So it's 1-1-2-2. So we thematically we're just carrying on.
Angel number.
So now he needs to end the game on 212 CS.
Maybe he can get there. The question is he gonna get there without ruining the 1-1-2-2? That's
probably not.
Yeah, that's where I'm thinking too.
Almost certainly not, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a certain beauty to it. Yeah, you know, it's an acquired taste for sure. There's not like going to be shoved in.
That is also like the go-to for every serial killer and every horror movie. Like, there's beauty in it.
Hold on a second. Realm Warp might be enough to save him. He's actually Zonya's in it, though. I think he's going to go down here. Yone forced to return to his soul, and the Q going to miss on Easy Life. He's going to sidestep it, actually pick up a kill. He's positive in the game here. Cadence and Easy Life. I mean, they're making him work for it, making them sweat for the win here. But I mean, it's kind of a mild sweat. It's not a big sweat when Luke is able to do stuff like that to your ADC. Just Q flash on him, send him to the Shadow Realm. It's a nightmarish deer running around the map right now. Next to fall is going to be Gumby. Flashes over the wall. That's not going to save you. Luke's just taking tower shots left and right, using the Zonyas here. He doesn't even have to play it well. He can play it ugly like this, but the Magnet Storm, the peel is good enough.
FTR is ending, by the way. He's just walked down top lane.
I mean, he deserves it.
He's
proven himself the king of this game. Counter-Strike on the face of Ryu Fury. Reminder of exactly what happened to you in lane this game, my friend. Reminder of who the king of top lane is here. And a reminder of UQ LOL going descent straight to the last chance bracket. They're going to win here. An execution and Fountain. The mental victory as well for UQ LOL. Sending We're So Doomed careening back home, back to, I don't know, wherever the Yone player come from. And I don't know, man. Do we have words? Are there words to say about this game? That was crazy.
Thematically appropriate team name. Ultimately lives up to said team name. So, yeah.
They were doomed.
They were doomed. They were doomed from the start. It seemed it was not even manifesting destiny. They just kind of ran it down the top lane with a blind pick Yone. I don't know what more you can say, really.
That's about that. That's about that. We can talk about next week. We can talk about this game a little bit more though, because I think if we are We're So Doomed, there are some things to take away. So if you want to continue playing as that team, obviously the mid laner played well, obviously the bot laner played well. I think it is just a bad game. That's the reality of the best of one format. When the Yone gets blind picked into the Jax, the matchup's that hard. You can have a bad game, you can just get punished, and you can be sent out of the tournament like that. And that's, I think, what has happened to We're So Doomed.
Look, I think realistically, they're not a bad team. No, not by any stretch of the imagination. it wasn't the best draft. They kind of backed themselves into a little bit. Maybe a lack of flexibility. I think realistically, at that situation, there was nothing to lose from setting the Victor top lane, the Yone mid lane. You could have experimented at least a little bit, tried something a little bit different, because realistically that lane was just going to go poorly. But let's have a look at the bracket and see how it rounds out ahead of our final round of the Swiss. There is only one left to go. It is, of course, that last chance. We send Frozen Hands, Pethies, and We're So Doomed home after the 1-2 side of the Swiss. Now, round table, Mighty Bulldogs, Ale, Feeders Anonymous, Gmeow, Himiko's Toga's Shower, Jesus Loves You Old Monks, YYG, and UQ LOL find themselves in a position, do or die, one last match to see whether they qualify to the next stage of the competition or they bow out, unfortunately, at the final hurdle. Tweet, I mean, it's a pretty interesting roster of teams that will find themselves in that last chance bracket.
It is, yeah, it is. And I think if today's games are to be believed, OCE League of Legends esports is never boring. That's for sure. It is never unsurprising. Like, we may have seen 2 stomps. Yes, okay. I'm not. Let's not beat around the bush. We just saw 2 obliterations. Okay, we saw 2 people just get sent careening back. As I said earlier, careening back to the loading screen. But next week, you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of the esports and the oceanic scene, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, it wasn't necessarily just 2 stomps. It was 2 teams that backed them into really, really bad drafts, and then just unfortunately were forced to play it out. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, you have to stick. You have to back yourself. There's nothing else you can do when it comes to that sort of things. But big shout out to Sandsprell GG for supporting all of this, and of course, Shin, for making sure that we've got this sort of backing to keep this sort of thing going here in the grassroots scene in Oceania. But for us at the OCC, we're done for tonight. Tweet, thanks again for jumping on the broadcast with me. Until next time, stay safe, and we'll see you then.